I hope I didn't fucking butcher that. Please tell me Google was right. Today we're going to be looking at A Quiet Place. So this movie starts off with the Abbott family composed of 5 members: Lee, Evelyn, Reagan, Marcus, and Bo. They find themselves in a post-apocalyptic world where these alien-looking creatures hunt by sound, and unlike humans, they have insanely good hearing, but they got no eyes, so they can't see shit, which means the family has to be very, 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 very quiet all the time. Bo, the youngest, doesn't seem to understand this, and off the bat, he gets killed, and then we time skip to the future where Evelyn is pregnant, and this is the whole conflict part of the movie, aside from them having to survive in this creature-infested planet. So, we get to see the day-to-day struggles of this family, dealing with loss, grief, and moreover, Evelyn's pregnancy. Eventually, she gives birth, alone, because the other 3 members are away, then they come back, and while trying to protect his kids, Lee gets killed, the kids reunite with the mom, and then they kill a monster. End of movie. As you know, we will score the movie in 4 different areas, each worth different percentages of the final scores. Killer/evil forces 35%, atmosphere 35%, kills 20%, and general enjoyment 10%. All this adding up to a final scare score. So, let's get started. Starting off with the soundtrack and sound design, well, obviously this is the area where the movie shines bright. It is incredible. Aside from it being a super fun concept, they kill it. Honestly, you find yourself being quiet while watching the movie just because you get dragged into their world. Not just this, but also the augmentation of sounds that will usually be pretty quiet is fantastic and just adds this element of stress to the movie. You realize that shit that you usually do would literally get you killed. You drop a lamp, be careful. You step wrongly, you might get killed. And this is all shown throughout the movie. The music is also a good addition and I loved it. It's deep, it's melancholic, it's sad. It portrays what the characters are feeling, but it doesn't feel essential to the movie, which isn't a bad thing. The movie could have gone without music for like 90% of it and it would have been equally as impactful, but the music, as I said, adds this extra element, which is a nice addition. The cinematography doesn't feel like anything out of this world. No real cool one-shot takes or like super cool shots in general, so it feels kind of meh. But the set is a cool thing. They live in like a farm all made of wood, which I don't know if you've heard, but it creaks a little. So they have this whole system in place in case things happen, just on how to lead their daily life as well. It's great, it's pretty, it's ingenious at times, but it's not really scary. Actually, most of the time it looks pretty peaceful in general, but this doesn't mean that they don't know how to make the change from chill to scary. Another nice addition to the atmosphere is how they don't just make day chill, night scary, a scheme which sadly a lot of horror films follow. No, these fuckers will get you at any point in any moment, and once again, this adds tension. And I talk about the dialogue, but there's like literally 25 lines of dialogue in the whole movie.
You're alright.
Why didn't you let her come? Where are they?
I'll find them.
They barely speak, and when they do, it's usually important or because they are safe. I do think it's a great addition, the ASL, and the way they managed to completely express emotion just as well with speaking, if not even stronger in this situation. I mean, seriously, that last scene, literally no dialogue, and I was shedding tears. The characters, I just have a problem with the little girl. John Krasinski and his wife Emily Blunt are great. The bathtub scene is an incredible performance. John Krasinski's death is also amazing. Nothing Oscar worthy, but great acting all in all. They make you feel absolutely everything that they are feeling at the moment. Now, the little boy, yeah, it's acting. He does a good job at portraying how an actual kid would most likely react to the situation, scared, afraid, the expected. But the girl, it's not so much the acting, because she's great. It's just the character itself. I hated her, disliked her, I don't know. That scene in the grain bin where she says her dad won't look for them because he doesn't love her, like, I don't know, man, come on. I get that she feels guilty for the death of her young brother since she gave them the toy that got him killed, but like, just seems like such a stupid fucking logic. But I guess she's a kid, and I mean, yeah, I just found her annoying as shit. All in all, the atmosphere is pretty good. The setting is resourceful, it's pretty, anxiety inducing at times, but the set isn't the scariest in general. What's scarier is just the survival of this family and attempt at staying together in an extremely dangerous world. The tone is super dark, like crazy dark. Literally within the first minutes of the movie, they kill a super young kid and they just show the family trying to get by, and the atmosphere augments and makes this possible. Fantastic, but sadly, it isn't the scariest of all, so 7 out of 10 on atmosphere. Killers, monsters, aliens, lab creations. I mean, we have no idea where they come from or what they are, which is a very peculiar aspect to this movie. We literally have no idea its beginnings. We get thrown right into the middle of the chaos, and of course, the most interesting aspect of them is the fact that they can only hear and seem to have a sort of hypersensitivity to noise. It's really cool how we get thrown into what they can occasionally hear to give us some perspective. And it's also cool that they have a weakness in the sense that they can't see. So they are overpowered, but you can get by. The monster design is also cool and icky at times when you see their face deform and shit, but I mean, I'm not a sucker for the alien stuff, so I didn't really find them that spooky. They have their moments, but it's more of the situation that gives the chills than the monster itself, you know? Like, they could have completely changed the design and I don't think it would have made a difference, nor is it a super memorable monster. Like, I literally can't imagine it in my head right now. It's a dope concept, cool properties, but in terms of the design itself, it's okay. And just one small thing that bothered me at times was like some things that aren't established, or at least to me. Is it the hearing device that allowed them to blow their heads off, or is it just a way of keeping them in place? Also, how fast are they? At times we see them fucking flying around, and also, what are the limits of the hearing? When Evelyn is holding her baby under dropping water, he doesn't kill her. But like, isn't this not the same as a waterfall? It's just a little bit of water dropping, because then we see the monster show up under the slightest noises. It's a little confusing and, as I said, not really scary, so 4 out of 10 on Killer. The kills are few but powerful. We get 3. Bo, a random old man that feels kinda unnecessary, and then main daddy Lee. The family deaths are fucking devastating. With the little kid, it's interesting because I mean, 1, it sets the tone right from the start of the movie and adds a major point to it. The dealing with the death and the uneasy feeling and shocking reality that any of them could die at any given moment. And 2, we don't really have much context, but the fact that it was a little kid over, let's say, a 20-year-old just adds this extra strength to it, and I love that they didn't hold back. It's impactful and leaves your jaw wide open. The old man kill is fucking dog shit. It's weird, it's out of place, it feels insanely unnecessary other than for a dramatic addition, especially since Lee dies in the same way later on. And then the final one, well, it hits even more than the first one. It's a true sacrifice from the part of Lee, and his performance is tear-jerking. You see him looking at his kids about to be killed, and the moment he gets up, you know what's about to happen. He signals to his kids, particularly to Reagan, that he loves her and that he has always loved her, reassuring her feelings in his last moments of life, adding to his sacrifice. The yell is painful and it just hits your souls as he and us as a viewer accept his impending doom. I don't usually cry during horror, since it really isn't the place for it, so yeah, props to the movie. But this is all drama, they are shocking, and for that I give it a strong score, but they feel super dramatic over it actually being scary, so 6 out of 10 on kills. How much did I enjoy the movie? A decent amount. There's some plot holes that I struggled to get around, like what the fuck caused the flood? How did that happen? Also, you don't sink like that in a grain bin, and sure, add that, but don't just remove that when they're trapped below the door. There is way too many crops for one family to deal with. What about electricity? I don't know. If you can get past these, then it's a great movie, and I mean, it still is. One aspect which I loved of the movie is how they really mark the way their lives change. You can't do all the shit a normal human does. You can't cry, you can't cough, you can't laugh, careful if you sneeze, and the addition of a baby adds to the stress. Like, babies cry a lot. You have to properly deal with that. Seeing the way that the kids are removed from their normal childhood activities, they can't mess around, you can't play with loud noises, you can't be a kid. I would have been the first kid to die because fucking hell was I loud. The movie does a great job at portraying the difficulties and hardships one would go through in this situation in an incredible way. I do feel like at times this moves more into suspense/drama territory, but oh well, it's categorized as a horror film. And at times, yeah, it can be creepy, but as I said, more than the action itself, what I really enjoyed is the fact that they started in the middle. We don't get to see the whole process of how it happened, and we don't waste time on that. We just go straight to the problem, and watching the family survive and struggle is great. They don't add characters or bullshit, it's just them. It's fantastic, and I adored this. Sadly, at times, especially the first half, feels kind of drawn out and just slow in general, but the second half picks up, and the fact that this isn't a super eventful movie in general is a pro and a con. At times, as I said, it's slowed and drawn out, but other times they are able to really focus in on the scene, take their sweet time, and make it fantastic, like the birth scene. It's long as hell, but goddamn can you feel the pain and stress and relief. This is a good movie. I enjoyed it. I couldn't get over some of the plot holes and points of the movie, so 7 out of 10 in general enjoyment. I wouldn't be true to myself if I called this scary. It could have been scary, but with the way it's portrayed, it fits more of a suspense drama than a true horror film. This doesn't mean that it isn't a good movie. Hell, it has a 7.5 on IMDb, 96% in Rotten Tomatoes, and 82% in Metacritic. It's an enjoyable movie to pass time with since it's pretty short, with a runtime of 1 hour and 30 minutes. In line with this, my heart rate throughout the movie had an average of 70, a maximum of 82 in this scene, and a minimum of 63. As a small recap, the movie got a 7 out of 10 on atmosphere, 4 out of 10 on killer/evil force, 6 out of 10 on kills, and finally 7 out of 10 on general enjoyment. So, how scary is it? It gets a final scare score of 5.75, landing on the upper area of suspense, but no real spook. It's a fun movie to watch, but don't go in expecting to get scared. Just watch it as a good old kind of suspense thriller that will get you really emotionally invested. And as a nice plus, if you watch it with people who talk too much during movies, this one will definitely make them shut up and let everyone sit back and enjoy. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I upload weekly, so be sure to drop by and check out the next scare score. If there are any requests as to what movies you'd like to see in the future, make sure to drop it in the comments and I'll take a look. Thanks for tuning in to Scare Score.